What's up guys, Andre here, and today I'd like to show you how to use Electron with React. My last two videos involved Electron using vanilla JavaScript and just the basics of Electron, and the other one was with Vue.js. So I figured I'd do one for React as well. So after I did some quick research, I came across this library here. As you can see, it's really popular and definitely worth checking out. I installed it and it was an easy installation and I had it working fine. However, this is a boilerplate that was not created using Create React App, which is fine. It's just I wanted to keep it as simple as possible and use Create React App if I could. So I came across this article by Kites, which has the steps for making an Electron app from within a Create React App. So this is the steps we'll be following here. And if you haven't seen my other two videos, we'll be rebuilding this app, which is just a Reddit clone that pulls from a specific subreddit and displays the images as you click on them. So we will rebuild this using React. Okay, so the first step is to create React app. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to create React app. Let's call it Electron React example. Okay, let's cd into that. Okay, what's next? So now we have to add these libraries. And one is just to build Electron in for production, which we won't be doing this video, but we'll install it anyways. And these ones are required so we can have Create React App running first and then Electron running after that is working. So let's go ahead and grab these. I'm just going to use npm. So I'm just going to do npm install this stuff. Okay, what's next? Looks like we need this one too. So let's quickly install this one. npm install this one. Okay, so what is next? It says to add this Electron.js file to the public folder. So this file is equivalent to the main.js file, which is the main process for Electron to work correctly. So I'm going to name it main.js instead of Electron.js because that's what I named it in previous videos. So I'm just going to grab all of this. Let's go here. And yeah, he says to put it in the public folder. And the reason he puts it in public is when you build it for production, it works. We won't be doing that, but we'll stick it in the public folder anyways. So public, make a new file, let's call it main.js. I'm sorry, this is the completed project already. Let me just reopen that new project we just made. So public, new file, main.js, and let's paste that in. Let's go ahead and save that. All right, what's next? It says to add a main property to package JSON and point it to that main.js file. Okay, let's go to package. Let's add a main section down here. And we named it main. Okay, what's next? It says to add this npm script to your scripts section. Okay, let's do this. Go to our package JSON and let's add it to scripts right here. So he uses yarn. I'm going to stick with npm like I've been doing. So this is going to be npm run start. Okay, and is that it? Okay, looks like that's it. If we just run this new script, so npm run electron dev, npm run electron Electron dev. Hopefully this should work. Okay, I might need to npm install first. Okay, let's try that again. And there is our Create React app running inside Electron. So let's go ahead and start building this Reddit clone out. Okay, the first thing I want to do is grab a list from Bootstrap. So Bootstrap list, because I'm going to be making use of this list here. So this one right here. This one right here. Let's grab this. And let's paste that into our code in our main component. So right, get rid of all of this stuff. Let's paste that in. Okay, see how that looks. Okay, let's take out the centering here. So app CSS, I'm just going to take this out. See how that looks. Okay, I'll give it some padding. And instead of importing all of Bootstrap, I'm just going to paste in the code specific to that list. And it's not too many rules. I just ripped it straight from Bootstrap. And okay, so that looks pretty good. So the next thing I want to do is import Axios. So I think I already did it because I was recording or at least I thought I was recording and I wasn't recording. So I did this whole thing and I already imported it. So let's just check if we have it. And we do, it's right here. So just npm install Axios. So yeah. Okay, so Axios is installed. Let's go to, where are we going? We're going to our app. Let's make a new lifecycle hook for component did mount. And right here, let's call Axios. So axios.get https reddit.com/r/aw.json. If you're not familiar with the Reddit API, if you just go to any subreddit, for this case, we're going to this. So for all this information, you just append .json to the end of the URL. You'll get all that information in JSON format. And you can pretty much build Reddit using its API. So yeah, that's how the API works. Then response, and it's just console log. See if we can get some data back. Response.data.data.children. And it's put in the error case here. Catch error console log error. Okay. Let's see if we're getting the correct data back. Component did mount. I always do this. I always put it in the wrong place. Should be outside the render function. There should be no this. I don't know how that got there. Okay. Just indent this. Cool. Okay. Oh yeah, let's import Axios. Cool, okay. So unfortunately, there's no React DevTools here. If you watch my Vue video for Electron, you'll see that the package reused automatically installed Vue DevTools. And it's probably a way to install React DevTools. I just don't know how. So we'll have to make do without React DevTools. So yeah, did that work? So yeah, we're getting a CORS error here. So to fix that, go back to our main process here And within our main window right here, we have to specify another setting. Let's specify web preferences. And then within that, an object, web security, and set that to false. So only do this for development. In production, you should be able to take this out and it should work fine. So let's save that. Every time you save the main process, you have to restart this. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, let's open up DevTools here. Okay, so now we're getting an array, and that is the correct data. So now we can start working with it. So back to app. Let's make some state here. Let's just make a posts variable, which is empty. And then in here, we can set that state. So this set state. And let's update the posts to this right here. And then that's good. Now we can iterate over that posts array. Let's go ahead and do that. So this dot state dot posts dot map. We're gonna grab a post, and it should be class name. There should be class name as well. And in here, we can just do post.data.title, and that should render out the title. Let's not forget to give it a key. The key is going to be post.data.id, I believe. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, so there are all the posts from the Reddit API. Cool. So I would like to have an image here. So let's go ahead and use some Flexbox magic here. So I'm going to add another one here called another class called Flex Container. And in our CSS, let's go ahead and add that. Display flex, align items center. Okay. And for the flex items, we want, let's put this on its own line. So this is going to be the title. So we'll put that in a div. And the first item is going to be an image. So the source is going to be this dot, not this, post.data.thumbnail. Let's just put thumb here. Let's give this a class of class name, thumbnail, and save that. See how that looks. Okay, let's just style that thumbnail class and it should look good. Thumbnail, it's going to be width of 30, height 30, sorry, not 30, 60. And the border radius is 30. And margin right of 16. See how that looks. It's looking good. Let me just paste in a few more styles. So we have a hover and a cursor pointer. So I'm just going to paste that in. And just a pointer and a light gray hover background color. All right, that's looking good. Cool. Okay, now we would like to click on this and we want another window to show up. That's a higher res version of this thumbnail. So to do that, let's go back into our main process. Let's just get a window showing up for now. So as you can see, we have the main window here. Let's make a new one for the settings window. And let's just start duplicating stuff here. So this one's going to be settings window. And let's make this a bit smaller. Let's make it like 600 maybe. And we don't need this web preferences because we're not making AJAX calls in here. Let's close that. Set the parent to the main window so the two windows move around with each other. And then let's show it for now to see if it works. And then we'll turn it off and then we'll toggle it on and off. So let's duplicate this. So, okay. So we're going to want to load another route here. So we're going to make use of routing in React. And that specific route is going to load a specific component. And this is what we want to show in this settings window. So let's make a route here. Let's call it settings. Sorry, not settings. Did I do settings? I meant image window. Sorry. We're going to do settings window later on. Image window is what I meant. So the route's going to be image. And this is what happens in development. But in production, we have to do something else. Now, I'm not going to get into how to build it for production, but if you look at the article, there are details on how to make it work for production. So definitely take a look at that if you're interested in making your app for production. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a router here so this route can work. So the first thing you should do is install React. So I already did it, like I said, because I recorded earlier, but I forgot to record, so I already installed the npm package. So just npm install React router DOM. So you can see in my package.json, I already installed it right here. And then let's go ahead and make a new router.js. So I'm just going to paste in some code here so I can save time because I'm not making this about the React router. So we're just importing React. We're importing some stuff we need from the router. And we are importing the routes that we need. We're going to do settings later on. Let me just comment that out. So this is the main route right here. And here is the path to the main route. It's just the root route. And then the image component, which we'll make in a second, is /image. And this is what we want this new window to be right here. Cool. Okay, so we also have to go back to our entry point and import the router from here. And then we want to use the router instead of the app, and the router will take care of the rest, all the routes. So we don't need this anymore. And let's save everything. So let me just restart this. See if we did anything incorrectly. Okay, I have to import image into our router. Oh, sorry, yeah, I didn't make that. Let's go ahead and make that. Image.js. Let's make a React component. And let's just say image goes here. Okay, there we go. So we have the correct component loading from the route, and this is showing correctly. Okay, now let's make it so that this doesn't show initially, but when we click it, it shows up. So let's go ahead and do that. So back to our main process here. We have to make use of a global event listener called IPC main. And this is going to listen for global events so we can toggle on and off windows. So let's go ahead and import it here. IPC main equals electron.ipc main. And then down here, we can listen for a specific event. So IPC main.on, and the event we're listening for is toggle image, and we'll fire this off from another component in a second. And it's going to take in some params, event and org. And what do we want to do? We want to just show the image window. And let's hide this by default right here. And save that, stop this, and restart it. Okay, let's click it. Okay, we didn't define the, we didn't fire the event yet, so we got to do that now. So back to our app.js. So right here, we want to click on one of these and we want to fire off an event. So let's put an on click. Let me just put this on its own line. Okay. Let's do on click equals, and I'm going to make an arrow function because I'm going to pass in parameters later on. So let's do this dot show image. And let's go ahead and make that right here. Show image equals like that. And all we want to do is fire off that event. So we need an IPC renderer. And we're going to send, we're going to toggle an event called, we're going to fire an event, sorry, called toggle image. And we have to import that. So up here, we have to use Electron within React components, we have to import it a bit differently. So we just have to use the window to grab it like this. Just make it single quote, Electron. And then we can do const IPC renderer equals electron.ipc renderer. Okay. So hopefully that works. Let's check it out. Sorry, the damn VS Code is require. I didn't see that when I was typing. Changed it on me. Okay, cool. So the image window shows up. Okay, so this error occurs because you saw me close that window, and once we try to show it again, it doesn't exist anymore. So let's go ahead and fix that. So something like this we need to do. So I'm going to duplicate that and let's change that to image window. Let's listen for the close event. I'm going to put this on its own line. And we want the event, grab the event in there, and we want to prevent the default, which is closing the window, prevent default, and then all we want to do instead is hide it. Let's try that. We gotta close this, run it again. Okay, and now we should be able to close it and show it again. Cool. Okay. So now I want to pass in the higher res image. So from here, I want the image to show in here. So let's go ahead and do a few things to accomplish that. Let's start off by going to our app component and let's pass it in right here. So like I said, I already know the JSON coming back, and it's the high res image lives here. So preview images, and it's the first one, and it's the source URL. So this is going to be the URL of a high-res image. I'm passing it into show image, so we can accept that here. We don't need the brackets for that. And then we can, once we fire off this event, we can send in this payload. So let's go ahead and do that. And then from within our main, when we're listening, to get that passed in argument, we just call this. And what we want to do is send a message to the image window with another event. So let's go ahead and do that. So we can do something like this: image window dot web contents dot send, and we're going to send in an image, and we're going to pass in that argument. And then we can listen for this in the image component. So let's go ahead and do that in the image component. So let's add a few things here. First of all, let's make this an image. So image source equals, so let's make some state. We'll make it in a second. Let's call it this state image URL, and then alt, let's give it image, and let's just give it a max width of 100%. Okay, let's close that. Let's make some state up here. State equals image URL empty string to start, and let's make a lifecycle hook. And this is where we listen for this event right here. So we are going to do IPC renderer, which we'll import in a second, on the event we called it image. So once this event happens, we will react to it here, and we want the event and the argument. We want to, so all we want to do is set that state. Set state image URL is the argument coming in. And if I did that correctly, this should work. So let me just restart this again. Okay, I forgot to import IPC renderer. And let me just grab this from app, the same way we imported IPC renderer here. Paste that into image. Okay, save that. Okay, and there we go. There is the image showing in that new window. Cool. Okay, now let's work on a custom menu here. As you can see, there is a default one. Let me just quickly show you how to make a custom one, and we'll have a shortcut key as well. So back into our code. Let's go back to app.js, and I'm going to import a menu here. So const menu equals electron.remote.menu. And I'm going to paste in a method here that initializes the menu. So if you want more details, just check out my Electron basics video, but here it is here. It's called init menu, and it's just making a new menu. So the first menu item is file, and here are its contents. So new window, settings, and quit. And there's a separator in between settings and quit. And there are shortcut keys associated with some of them. So there's one for settings, which is command comma, and command Q for quit. And the event handler for this particular one is firing off an event called toggle settings. And we'll listen for this in the main process in a second, so we can toggle a settings menu. But for now, let's just invoke this method right here. So this dot init menu, and if I did this correctly, a menu should show up. And there it is. Cool. So there's our custom menu here. So we want this to toggle on and off a settings window along with this shortcut key. So let's go ahead and work on that. Pretty similar to what we did already for the image window. Let's go back to main.js. Let's make one called settings window. So let me just duplicate this, call it settings window. And we can leave it like that. Let's duplicate this one for settings window. We'll make a new route for settings. And then let's copy this and do the same for settings window. So settings window, and let's listen for that event. So it's called, let me just grab this. It is called toggle settings. We don't need any arguments here. And it's just, so we just want to check if settings window is visible. And if it is, then hide it. If it's not, then show it. And that, okay, we have to make the settings component. Let's go into our router. Let's uncomment this. Let's uncomment this. Let's make a new file. Settings.js. Let's make a new React component. Settings. Settings. Go here. Let's save everything. Let's restart. And hopefully our settings window works. Let's go to our menu, settings, cool. Let's toggle it with the command comma shortcut, and that works cool. And I think I'm recording this time, so I should be good. So there you have it, guys. We've managed to build out this Reddit clone with React and Electron. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Okay, thanks. Bye.